I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you are new here, my name is Melissa and I'm a second grade teacher from Michigan. It has been so long since I've sat down in front of the camera to make a video, and I'm feeling very excited to do this. I've just been busy lately. Obviously, I'm a full-time teacher, and that is my job, that is my priority, and this is a super fun hobby for me, but as of right now, it is just a hobby, and if I don't have time for it, or if I'm not feeling inspired, or have anything that I feel like is share-worthy, I don't know. I haven't really had anything that I felt like sharing, but I'm hoping that I can get back into this soon. I do really miss it, so I'm feeling really excited to sit down and talk with you guys today. Thank you to those of you who have kept in touch, especially over on my Instagram. If you do not already follow me on there, I am a lot more active there as of right now anyways, and it is made for a second grade, so I will link that in the down bar if you are not already over there. So while I was on Instagram, I asked anybody to send in questions just about teaching or life or books or Disney World or all that kind of stuff. And so I got some questions today and I just kind of split them up into categories. And as you can probably tell, my hair is done, my face is not. So I'm going to just be kind of finishing up getting ready while I chat with you guys. I will kind of show you what I'm using. I'm not going to go in depth about the makeup or anything really, because the point of this video is just to kind of chat with you guys, but I figured it's kind of fun to be doing something and have you guys just not stare at me just talking. So let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going in with this Neutrogena primer. It helps cancel out some redness. I really like it. And my first question, I'm gonna start with the teaching related questions. So the first one I have is, do you feel safe teaching in person and how many students do you have? So my school has pretty much been in person this whole time. We had 7 virtual school days, but for the rest of the year, we've been in person. So if you would have asked me in the summertime, when we were getting ready to come back, if I wanted to come back, I would have said no, and I would have said that I didn't feel safe, and I know that if I worked in certain circumstances, I would not. However, there has been very, very low cases in my specific building, and none of the cases have been transferred within the school. So as of right now, I am feeling pretty good. I know that with that though, I don't want to become like overly confident. Like I'm still being very, very cautious, and what's been put in place is working so far. So as of right now, yes, I do feel safe for the most part. There are still things where I'm like, ooh, I work with 7-year-olds, and so there are just things that happen sometimes where I'm like, that's a lot of germs. In terms of how many students I have, I've had the smallest class this year that I've ever had, and most of that is due to virtual students. But I only have 14 kids right now. We're a really close bunch, and that's been super fun, and it has been really helpful because for the most part, we're able to socially distance really well, which is a big part of the reason why I do feel so safe. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little beauty blender, which this one, I need to replace it soon. It is damp, I wet it in the other room. And then I'm going to take the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer, which I love this stuff. It's perfect for weekend makeup, and it feels really nice on your skin. So if you have dry skin like me, I would definitely recommend doing that. But anyways, the next question is, when did you realize you wanted to be a teacher? So I can't say that I had like a moment. I feel like some people have like a moment where they know that they want to be a teacher. Like it was just kind of something that was always in the back of my brain that I imagined myself doing, and there was never really a moment where I was like, yep, this is it. But I just never really imagined myself doing anything else. Yeah, I don't know. I just always liked it, and when I was younger, like I would get asked to like help out other students a lot, and I would be like the teacher's pet gal, so that definitely played a part in it. But I don't know. I just kind of always wanted to do it. Okay, so I finished blending that out, and now I'm just going to take my L'Oreal Infallible Concealer to brighten up my under eyes a little bit. So the next question is, have you always taught second grade, and how would you feel if you moved to a higher grade? So I have always taught second grade. When I student taught in 3rd grade, and originally I imagined myself being a 3rd through 5th grade teacher. Well, no, probably 2nd through 4th is what I used to say. And yeah, I just ended up getting hired for 2nd grade. The position at my school I actually interviewed for was posted as 3rd grade. Then when I got there, they said, you know, we also might have a 2nd grade opening. Would you be interested in that too? And I was like, yeah, of course. I honestly was a little bit worried when I first started that they would be too little, because like I loved my student teaching experience. It was so good. And so I really worried that they would be like too small. But now I love it. Like, I really do feel like it's the perfect spot for me. And if I was moved, I would be bummed for sure. I think if I was moved up, one thing that I would really enjoy is like digging into a story with kids. And we start that in 2nd grade for sure, but there's also a lot of time spent on like phonics and spelling and word patterns and all that kind of stuff. But I really like digging into the story and finding like the messages and making connections. And that's something that I do envy about older grade. If you asked me if I like had to move, if I'd rather go up to 3rd or down to 1st, I would have told you up to 3rd in a heartbeat a couple of years ago, but honestly right now I think I would say down. But then if you asked me to go to like kindergarten or 4th grade, I'd probably go to like 4th grade, you know, like kindergarten's just its own little game. But anyways, yeah, so I have always taught 2nd. I absolutely love it, and I hope that I don't have to move anytime soon. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm just taking my e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder and this little Real Techniques brush. This is like my favorite brush. I don't even know. It's a setting brush. 402. It's so good. And I'm just going to get a little bit of that and just kind of dust it underneath. And then I also like to do around my nose because that's where makeup will break up first on me. And then I also like to do it kind of on my like smile lines and chin area. Next, I am taking the Nabla Cosmetics Skin Bronzing in the shade Ambra. I love this stuff, it's perfect. And then I'm taking an e.l.f. face brush, and I'm just going to warm up my complexion a little bit. And then, okay, while I do this, the next question, my favorite read aloud for 2nd grade. So I feel like I try to switch it up a lot, and more for my sake than the kids, because I just am like, I don't want to read the same book like 5 years in a row. So I have done a lot of different ones. Right now, we just finished reading Winn-Dixie, which I did censor a little bit for 2nd grade just because there's a few parts that are just a little more mature than what I felt comfortable getting into with my class. They loved it. Like, they loved that book, and it was awesome. And that was the first time I ever had done that one. And they really, really enjoyed it. So that was probably our favorite so far this year. Right now we're reading The Wild Robot, which was a recommendation from my friend Allie. I've actually never read that one before, so I am reading it along with them, which is really fun. And she kind of just gave me a heads up of like a couple things I might want to watch out for, because I know that that one's usually used for upper grades too, but I really like to bring in books like that. Like, I've read my kids' Holes, I've read them like Tales of a 4th Grade Nothing, I've read them The One and Only Ivan. So those are kind of usually the style I go for. I like to do longer chapter books that they wouldn't be able to read independently. Okay, so now I'm going on to blush, and this is like one of my bougiest products, okay, so don't think I have a bunch of makeup like this, but I am going to use the Hourglass blush in Sublime Flush. It is a nice pink, and then I have this IT Cosmetics brush that I'm going to use. I love this brush. I got it on Black Friday for $10, and it's super good. And now we're going to talk about Disney just a little bit. So I got a question about doing Disney on a budget. Now, I love Disney. If you know me, you know, like, that's kind of become my brand, is like teacher Disney gal. And so I never actually went until I was in 6th grade. And then now that I went once, like, I've been going back a lot. And I always go on a budget for sure, whether it's with family, friends. I went on my honeymoon, and I never do like luxury Disney. I will say one thing for me that's worth the splurge is staying on property, but I always go for the cheapest option. So I think the biggest tip for Disney on a budget is that you really need to prioritize what's important to you on your trip. For me, it's spending time in the parks. So I don't spend a lot of money on hotels. Like I don't go to the luxe resorts. I don't do like the park hopper option, because for me personally, like I just feel like I get more time spending time in one place. And then I do usually do restaurant reservations, but you don't have to. For me, it's just nice because if I am staying in the park like all day, then I can get out of the heat a little bit and just kind of take a breather. So that would be my number one, is just prioritize what you want. Like, do you want the maximum amount of days? Do you want a luxury experience in your room? Like, do you want a really nice pool? Like, maybe you have kids. Do you want to focus on riding the rides? And just think about what you value the most in your trip. And that's what I say you spend your money on, and then cut the costs other places. One other tip I have is definitely looking into flights early. I usually book my trip 6 months or more in advance, so flights are a lot cheaper. I could probably do a whole video on this if you guys wanted, so let me know. I would love to, honestly, but I don't know if I have the audience for that. But those are just a couple quick tips from me about Disney on a budget. Okay, next I'm going to be taking my Navla highlight in the shade Ozone and this little e.l.f. fan brush. This is my favorite highlight. You can see I've used a ton of it. And the next question is from my friend Lauren, and she says, how excited are you to go to Disney with me? So Lauren and I were supposed to go to Disney last April. Yeah, last April over spring break. And of course, we were not able to. So we had non-refundable flights, but we were able to, keep the points to book new flights. And so since we both work in schools and we have both scheduled vaccines, we have planned a trip for this summer. Now, the good thing about Disney is you can cancel up until a month before and get all your money back. So if things do not feel safe, we are not going to go. And we have a long time to decide that still, because we're not going until mid-June. So, like I said, we will both be vaccinated, which is huge. And we're just going to kind of keep our eye on it and see where everyone else is in terms of that and just safety. And we're really hoping that we can go, and we're super excited. But yeah, we are also like doing this with the knowledge that we might have to cancel, and that we're okay with that. Okay, and then I got one question about my shirt and my ears and if they were from Disney. The ears, yes, were the rose gold mini ears, and then my shirt in the picture was from @ByKai Studios on Etsy. I love her stuff. I've ordered a shirt and a sweatshirt as well as stickers. I would 100% recommend her store. I will say my stickers have peeled a little bit, but that was on me because I didn't wash it properly. But my shirt and sweatshirt are amazing because they are like screen printed. They're not just iron on. So they are really high quality and they're super cute, and I always get questions about it. So definitely recommend. Okay, now I'm going in with if I could hold it the right way. Now I'm going in with my ColourPop That's Taupe palette. This is one of my newest palettes from ColourPop. It is a very nice cool toned neutral palette, and it is beautiful. Like that shade right there. Do you see that? It matches my nails. I'm so excited. But anyways, I'm just gonna do a simple look. What I'll probably do, I'll just show you right now, is start with this in the crease, deepen that out in the outer corner a little bit, and then probably go in with either one or both of these lid shades, and that's all I do. I'm not fancy about it. Now we're gonna get into the life category. So the first question is, how did you and your husband meet? So I am married. I got married in 2018. So I've been married for about 2.5 years, and my husband's name is AJ, and we met at our high school job. So we worked at a restaurant, and what's funny is I had worked there for over 1.5 years before we had even really spoken to each other. And one night someone told me like this drama about some of our coworkers, and they were like, this drama is like so juicy, but you can't tell anyone. And I was like, oh, I need to tell this burning secret, which Melissa, she just told you not to tell anyone. And I saw AJ like sweeping the floor because I was a waitress and he was a cook. And I was like, oh, that AJ, like, he doesn't really talk to anybody, so there's no way that he's gonna tell, so I need to tell someone. So I just, like, went off and blabbed to him about this drama of, like, it was literally, like, 2 people were dating, okay? It wasn't anything big. But, I went and told him, and then he thought that I was, like, super cute. I never expected this, never thought. He was so shy, so he didn't give off any vibes of, like, thinking I was cute at all. And so a few weeks later, he had heard, like, an update to the situation, and so he, like, slid into the DMs to tell me, and then the rest is kind of history. So, yeah, we dated for about 2.5 years before getting engaged, and then we had like a 9-month engagement or so. So we've been together for a while, since I was 19, I think, and he was 20, and now I'm 26. So a long time, honestly. It was definitely one of those situations where, like, you're gonna find love where you least expect it, because this guy who I had worked with for like 2 years and never spoken to and, like, thought I had nothing in common with ended up being the one. So okay, and then I was asked what my guilty pleasure is. I would definitely say right now it is Animal Crossing New Horizons. I love that game, and I've played on it for an embarrassing amount of time. Like an embarrassing amount of time, I'm not going to say. So I definitely love that game. It's so fun, and it's just like when I have time to use for myself, it's like such an easy way for me to relax. So that's my guilty pleasure right now for sure. Also, like, really poorly dramatic TV shows. Like, I love, like, Pretty Little Liars and Desperate Housewives. So not reality TV, but like TV dramas that aren't that scary or have anything deep going on. Like, those 2 shows are 2 of my favorites. On a similar note, I was asked by one of my friends who also plays Animal Crossing for my favorite villager and my least favorite villager. I have to say my favorite is my girl Melba. I just love her. And then my least favorite, probably Sprocket. Sorry, I just can't with the robot ones. I'm, like, sitting far away from a mirror, so I can't really tell if, like, this eye look is even, but we're just gonna go with it because I feel like it looks okay. Okay, so now I'm taking Maybelline Lash Sensation, and I'm going to put it on my eyelashes. And while I do that, the question is, what have you been reading lately? So this year, I have been doing so well with reading my books, and I'm, like, very proud of myself, actually. So I reread a series of Unfortunate Events this year because I read those as a kid, but then got too scared, so I, like, stopped doing it. And so I just wanted to reread it to remember what it was like. I don't think I'm going to continue, but I read the first one. So that was, like, the first book I read, which was really short. But then I finished Educated by Tara Westover, and I really, really enjoyed that one. It took me a while to get through it. Like, I kind of read it in chunks, but that one was really good. So those were the first couple that I read this year. I'm on my 10th book so far. I'm currently reading Dumplin', which it's such a silly book, but, like, I'm enjoying it so far for sure. And then I have a really long list of, like, books that I want to read, because my problem is I will check them out on Libby, okay, and I'll get really excited and I'll put, like, 10 different books on hold at a time, and then they'll all be ready for me to read, like, at the same time. And then I'll also buy, like, hardcover or, like, paper books, and so I will spend all my time reading ebooks and then neglect my books that I buy, and so I just have, like, such a long list. But I do post on Goodreads everything that I am reading. I also try to post it on Instagram, but I forget sometimes. But you definitely should follow me on Goodreads if you are interested in seeing what I'm reading. I usually like to do 2 coats of mascara. Just, you know, that really makes them stand out. I like this mascara because the wand is like a swoopity boopity, if you can see that. And those just, like, fit my eye shape really well, so we're gonna call that good. Okay, and then my last step is I'm just gonna put on some lip gloss today, and this is one of my favorites. It is by Persona Cosmetics, which is, I feel like, a brand, unless you're, like, really into makeup, you probably haven't heard of, but it is so good. They sell it online at Ulta, and this is their lip gloss. It's so good. Mine is in the shade Shortcake, and it is a nice mauve-y pink color. So I'm going to put that on before I answer the question because I don't think I'll be able to talk and put it on, so there we go. Okay, so I also just quick took my bobby pins out. I did cut curtain bangs for myself. I did my own bangs. If you follow me on Instagram, again, sorry that I keep saying that, but you've already seen this process a little bit, but I'm pretty proud of myself. I feel like I did pretty good. But anyways, my last question is, how is grad school going? And grad school is going all right. I mean, it is a lot to do on top of teaching, and it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't really feel like school. And I don't know, it just kind of feels like homework without like the other parts of school that I enjoy, which it's fine. It is what it is. I definitely am taking classes with some professors that I really like, and there definitely are some like very valuable things that I'm learning, so I don't want it to seem like I'm not grateful that I'm able to do that right now, or that I absolutely hate it or anything. I just, yeah. Okay, my dog is barking because my friend Lauren just pulled in the driveway, but that is my cue to go. She just texted me and was like, I see the ring light. So anyways, hi Lauren, if you're watching. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you want to see anything from me, please leave a comment. Otherwise, all of my links can be found below. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.